This is Matt from DrawingTutorialsOnline.com. You have made it to our last video in this portrait drawing course. I'm really excited for you. In this last lesson number 12, it is all about getting rid of white paper. It's all about looking at the drawing and saying, okay, where is my whitest white? Maybe the whitest white is right here on his cheekbone, right in front of the ear, and everything else is going to compare to that. And as I look at the drawing, finishing it up, like at this part of his neck, I shaded that down a value so it wasn't as white as his cheekbone. And that's pretty much what this last lesson is all about. It's about changing subtle values, trying to soften things, trying to make things turn a little bit more, blending and losing edges into the background, sharpening some other edges. And I hope that you enjoyed this course. If you have any questions, I really would encourage you to ask them in the forums. Also, if you would like, I would love to see your version of this portrait, or if you pick another one of the poses of this great model and you can post that in the critique gallery, I would love to help you with your portrait drawings. So thanks so much for sticking with me throughout this course, and let me know if you liked the shorter version videos. None of them were really much longer than 20 minutes. Do you like to have more videos that are shorter, or would you rather have videos that are longer? Please let me know. All right, thanks again, and I'll talk to you soon. Be good. Here we go, last lesson. This lesson is really just going to be about softening everything, and I'm going over the background, I'm going over everything, making it softer, making it a little bit darker, adding more pencil. These are some of the final touches. Lots of curved pencil stroke direction, lots of subtle gradations. Let's curve around that pectoralis and add a gradation. You can see it on the photo reference. Just feather down. You don't want to go too dark with that, because then my eye goes to contrast white against dark. And if I start going darker with that sternum area, side of the pec, it's going to be not good. I'm going to take the viewer's eye away from the portrait area. Just feather down, just suggest where the pectoralis ends and the deltoid starts. I'm using curved pencil strokes. Now what we can do is we can just play in the background, a little bit of stippling over there. That's something that you have to figure out what's going to work best for you. Backgrounds are a topic that come up a lot at DrawingTutorialsOnline.com. People ask, well, I don't know what to put in the background. And my answer to that is, do you want to tell stories, or what's the reason? Why are you doing your artwork? For all my life, I've always had backgrounds, except when I do these figure drawings, portraits. I don't want anything in the background. I want it to be about the figure, the anatomy, the gesture. Maybe I'll change moving forward, but right now I just want it to be really about this portrait of the guy. If you put something in the background, just make sure that it doesn't distract from your figure drawing or your portrait drawing. This is where you can have a ton of fun with this kneaded eraser. You can play with using those form type strokes. You can wrap around form with the kneaded eraser. You can pull out highlights. You can play with pulling some highlights out in the hair. You don't want to overdo it, because remember, in my opinion, and you can ask 10 different teachers and they'll give you 10 different opinions, but in my opinion, solid shapes are really where it's at. Over here, I'm just having fun. I'm just playing with the texture. I'm putting a little bit more tone down. I'm kind of feeling it out to see how I like the tone. Do I want to push down a little bit more with the pencil? Do I want my pencil strokes to be a little bit more obvious? I'm curving my pencil strokes also with the angle of the head. I thought that added a nice flow to the background. Remember, the background is there as a place for you to promote the portrait. It's not to distract from the portrait, okay? I'm not creating a huge background. I'm just trying to create space. and that space is something for me to blend into. There's really no foreground and background in this piece. It's just really the model and a background tone. Let's just try to fade off a little bit. Let's add that striation going across the pectoralis. This just really has the feeling of a Leonardo da Vinci drawing where he did the drawing of the person's chest, the old man's chest, and that was the first time I saw an anatomical drawing like that, and I was like, oh God, I didn't know the chest did that. And you can see it a little bit. There are some striations in the muscle on his chest. It's so cool. I don't want to overdo it, but it's fun. Just blend that shoulder into the environment right there. Have the shoulder and the background tone become one, and that's going to make everything look so much more three-dimensional. It's going to make the head pop off the page. If the shoulder was very much rendered over there, then the head wouldn't pop as much. You need that area of fade off. What I'm doing right now is I'm just continually asking myself the question, where's the lightest light? And then I see that that part of the neck that I'm working on now is a front plane, and it should not be as light as the top of the shoulder. So I'm just trying to knock it down a value without creating mud. I don't want to make it so dark where it's going to start to become equal with the shadow shape value. I want to just knock it down one value. I want to have a gradation on the sternomastoid. I want all of this area to be much, much softer and more atmospheric down over there. Not too many hard edges. Just softening that area and going a little bit darker, trying to break that straight line with some little doodads that kind of protrude from the straight line. Little circular strokes as well. Okay, so not bad, not bad. Now, you see that drawing? I put a lot more pencil in the background, and I like that. This one's a little bit lighter. I think I want to try to go just a little bit more darker like that drawing. It's never going to be that dark, but just a little bit darker. I really like that drawing of that model, and I wish I would have filmed the entire drawing, but you know, that's over and done with, and I don't want to go back and draw it again, but I'll do another one like that. That was a really great drawing. I enjoyed working on it so much. Just still adding these subtle gradations and softening everything out and making sure that this neck area turns. Blend that hair into the background. Just be careful of creating mud. Keep the lights light. Keep the shadows shadow. Curve around with some pencil strokes so you're layering these curved pencil strokes on top of the tone. Think in layers. That's going to give your drawings depth. Curve the pencil strokes around the Adam's apple area. That is going to give the drawing depth and volume. See how there's that reflected light on the front of the Adam's apple? It just creates more volume, more translucency, not too heavy with the shadows over there. I shouldn't really be working too much more on the face. I just got to put that to bed. Let's play a little bit more with the background. Okay, soften the top of the hair. I could curve that a little bit more, but 2020 is hindsight. Just trying to soften that part of the ear one more time. So I hope that you enjoyed this this whole course, and I'm definitely going to film the way that I draw all the different techniques. I'm going to make a very short video, a screencast video of me drawing certain techniques on top of this final drawing in Photoshop. But I really want you to give me some feedback. I'm not looking for false praise. I want to know what you liked about this course, what you didn't like about this course, what I could have done better. Did you learn something? What did you learn specifically? Did you like the shorter videos? Do you like the longer videos? Now, every time I ask that question, if I ask 10 people, I'll get 10 different answers, but I still want to hear from you. And yeah, it helps me so much when you give me your feedback. I used to, when I first started doing this back in 2008, 2009, when I had people giving me feedback constantly, I used to get very confused, and I really didn't know how to deal with all the feedback. I mean, I would be getting dozens of emails with people saying you should do it this way and you should do it that way. And I got a little overwhelmed. I'm like, this person's saying this thing, this person's saying that thing. What do I do? And I've learned over the years that how to deal with all the feedback, and you have to stay true to yourself, but at the same time you have to try to incorporate suggestions that people make because they're pretty good suggestions. But if it's out of your comfort zone, or if it's not you, like someone gave me a suggestion, could you do a portrait that is a caricature? And I'm like, no, I don't do caricatures. So that is totally going out of your comfort zone. But your feedback really is going to help me moving forward and making better tutorials. What did you like least about the drawing? What did you like most about the drawing? But more on the practical side. The time, did you like the time? Were there too many lessons? Did you like my advice in the first lesson about skipping forward, just watching the first 5 lessons and then jumping ahead to lesson number 12? Did you like that? That would be really, really cool. So this is just right now fiddling. And when you fiddle with your drawing like this, you could create mud. I'm a big believer. Like right now, I have on my screen a Post-it note. You can hear this. And I'm not going to tell you what the Post-it note says, but I have certain speech patterns, and I'm trying to break certain speech patterns, and it's about a speech pattern. And when I first started painting as a professional illustrator, I created a lot of muddy paintings, and on my easel I had Post-it notes all over the place. And you, at this stage in the drawing, come in full circle to what I was trying to say there. You could really over fiddle with it, and you can really create a muddy drawing. Don't create mud. Have the saying next to your workstation: keep your lights light, keep your shadows shadow. I do not need to go any darker with the skin tone. It is fine. I do not need to go any darker with the hair. It is fine. The chest fades away pretty good. Anything else that I do, I'm going to start to create mud. And I shouldn't even be doing anything right now in the face. But it's okay. I'm not there yet with the mud, but if I keep pushing, I mean, we have a couple minutes left, so I don't think I'm going to ruin it in a couple minutes. These are just going over and tweaking some things and just having fun with it before you put it to bed. I don't think I worked on it too much more after this filming. Maybe a half an hour. I don't know. I might have tweaked 1 or 2 areas. But it's pretty much done. I like my favorite part of the drawing is his neck. It's just a very different type of neck versus a traditional portrait where the person is looking straight ahead. This neck is a very different type of neck, and I'd never really drawn a neck looking up like this. I might have from a statue at the Met, but that was years ago. Usually models in the classroom take a very safe pose, looking out the window or reading a book, and they're never going to take a pose like this for a long period of time. Even on a 4-minute gesture pose, this would kill their neck, and that's why I chose to draw this one. Also, I was inspired by a member who drew this pose, and they posted their drawing to the critique gallery, and I really want to thank them for doing that, because I saw their drawing. I'm like, wow, that looks really cool. I got to draw that. And if you go back and you see that video, you would hear me saying those exact words. So listen, I want to thank you so much for watching this. I really do appreciate it. I haven't had this fun drawing in a long time. This drawing was pretty cool, and I can't wait to do another portrait for you. The next portrait that I do is going to be bigger, okay? So I could get more detail in the eyes and make the eyes a little bit more detailed. Somebody had mentioned, I think it was Donna, wants to see a front view. I think I have a semi-front view that I'm going to draw for you guys next, and I'm looking forward to it. Just feathering away. just take a second and look. How does it look? Is it done? Is it getting too muddy? Am I destroying it? All right. Thanks so much for watching. Talk soon. Thanks once again for watching these portrait drawing lessons. I wanted to take a few of the lessons out of my latest course and just share them with you here on YouTube. If you want to learn more about what I have to offer and how I can help you improve your drawings, check out some of the links in the description below. If you like what you see, please subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate that. And look for some more portrait drawing lessons coming in the future weeks. I'm really looking forward to getting started with the next course. All right, be good. Thanks for watching.